Hello everyone and welcome to another Jurassic World Evolution 2 video that you didn't ask for. In case you missed it, in yesterday's video I talked about the slight hints that there are towards modular building being something in the game. Now, as I said in that video, I am still very doubtful of that for multiple reasons. But it is interesting to break those things apart, and at the end of the day, it is Frontier. They are known for their Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster titles, so I felt like it was interesting to bring that to everyone's attention so we can keep an eye on that for future content announcements. But for this video, what I wanted to do was I actually wanted to go into the alternative to modular building as a form of customization, and I touched on this in yesterday's video as well. I'm recording it on the same day, but I'm assuming I'm going to have like the the ability to refrain myself from uploading two things on one day, maybe. Possibly. Anyway, today's/yesterday's video was about modular building, but I did touch on the alternative to modular building, and that is a form of customization that we get in terms of making changes to the pre-made buildings. Kind of like, I guess it's sort of comparable to, for example, the Microraptor aviary that we have in Prehistoric Kingdom. If you don't know, you can build that that Microraptor aviary, and then you can select with like a little toggle which type of environment you want to be within that aviary. Like, do you want a tropical look to it? Do you want a desert look to it? And based on what you choose, the rocks and the trees inside of that aviary, they change. And I think that is something that we are seeing in Jurassic World Evolution 2. So we're not going to talk about modular stuff here. We're going to talk about how we can possibly customize pre-made buildings so that even if we don't get modular building, we still get that customization, that sweet, sweet customization, just not to the extreme extent of modular building. And what I wanted to do to showcase that is I have like these zoomed in images queued up. So we're gonna look at the top two first. Now these are from the image that I discussed extensively yesterday, but we're gonna look at the two buildings in the background. Yesterday it was about the two buildings in the foreground. Today's it's about the background. And I'm assuming you've already noticed it, but these buildings are exactly the same. They might not seem like it, but the core structure of them is the same. So I'm gonna get my handy brush again. I think what's very noticeable right away, right, is here, like this section over there with the windows, that is repeated over there, and you have like this this little sort of support thing in between, the separation between the windows. That's exactly the same. The only difference being that the colors have changed, and that's what I'm suggesting one of the options is. You can change the colors. That's the most noticeable difference right away. Like, you can select this one to be like a purple tone building, 2 tones of purple, and they've made this one orange and blue. But yeah, let's just further analyze the building first. So here we have this entrance section right there. And I feel like that's pretty much the exact same thing we're seeing over here. Now, obviously, the two are across the street from one another. So that's why on one building, the entrance is on the far side, and on this building, the entrance is on the close side. But if you would turn them, they would all look like this from the front. So you have the front, and then you have that entrance section with like the door. Oh god. Very professional drawing, but that's what it would look like from the front with the entry point on the right. Other similarities that I'm just going to point out. For example, this end point right here, that's also over here. It extends out like that, and it does over here as well. So in total, the front of the building looks more like this. So let me just copy what I just did. So front of the building, This is the entry section. It's a little bit higher. And then we have the structure on top, which is kind of like this. It has 3 sections, and then the middle is a little bit higher than that. There you go. And then it goes down again. And you have the logo plaque over there. That's what we're seeing, right? So this one has this logo plaque, and this one has this one. And that's going to be another thing that you can change from one building to the next. So we've already discussed, you can change the coloration of the building, and you can select, well, do you want this thing on top of it, or do you want this thing on top of it, which looks like a person climbing like a really steep slope. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the purpose of that building is, but that's what it looks like to me. And the final thing that's different about these buildings is one has these really superfluous triangular bits sticking out, and the other one has rectangular bits sticking out. And I'm guessing that's another thing we can change. You can choose. Do you want rectangular bits? Do you want square bits? Oh god, I hope there are square bits. Do you want round bits? Do you want no bits? I'm guessing that's going to be an option. And then finally, the difference between these two buildings is one has these really small planters with, I think it might be like a wood texture in between. Shut up, I'm talking to people. Not to you, though. And this one has these really long planters. Another thing you can change through like a little customization menu. If you scroll down to the other images, then that is sort of backed up over here as well. Now, these images are from a different promotional shot, and these buildings are the same. Let me zoom out a little bit more. I don't need to go into it because they're in the exact same perspective, the same angle, so I think you can see right away what I'm talking about when I say that these two buildings are, in terms of their base structure, exactly the same, but there are some differences between them. So let me get my red brush. So, differences is this one has a skull. Oh god, oh god. This one has a skull and rock accessories in the front, and this one has planter accessories. This one has a yellow and green logo. This one has a blue logo. Also, this logo is round. This logo looks to be square. This one has like this little fencing on top with what looks like more planters over here and another logo sign. This one looks to have planters and a parasol on top of the roof. So maybe like a little balcony type of situation. So again, structure basically is the same, but it has different accessories. And I think we'll be able to change that. We see the same thing in that same picture on the other side of the street, where this structure is the same. And the difference here is very minimal, but you can see on this one that whatever sign is up front is square, whereas the sign that this one has up front is round. And we see that in a lot of the similar buildings that are repeated, like teeny tiny differences in the logo shape or the logo color. Now, for this one in particular, this park, they didn't change the coloration of the building, but why would you, right? You'd want like a uniform look to your building, so that's why this is white and this is gray. Now, this white section, I'm making a mess. This white section right here is probably recolorable, just like this orange section up here is recolorable. Same over here, like they've made these arches, they've made them white. But you could probably make them purple. See where I'm going with this? See where I'm going with this? So it's a pre-made building, but the accessories are different. And how that's going to be implemented is, ta-da! Thank God Evo does not design game UI, because it would be really bad. So what I think is going to happen when you select a building, you can change these factors of that building, these accessories. So you can change the color, and you can say color 1 is going to be a bright green, and color 2 is going to be freaking magenta. And then your building is going to have that color. The next thing you select is the logo, and you have an option of maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever amount of logos. And what I'm guessing is the colors of the logos will automatically change and be generated based on what you've chosen for the colors. So you select your BMW logo on top of your building, and the game will automatically select the blue, for example, to be the bright green. It will make the black magenta. The next thing we'd be able to change are the frames, so we can select different shapes, or maybe we can select there to be no frames, so we wouldn't have this situation on the building if we don't want to. That sort of situation. And finally, what we'd be able to select are the accessories. Small planters, big planters, rocks, fossils, that sort of stuff. So, you'd say, in the end, you'd say, bam, I want green, I want magenta, I want a freaking unicorn. No, wait, no. We want the Avengers. We want rectangle frames in front of our buildings, and we want rocks. And then you get a custom pre-made building. I think that at the very least is going to be the case. Whether we get modular building on top of that, again, I'm still super doubtful about that, but there are interesting hints, but I discussed all of that in yesterday's video. This, I think, is pretty much confirmed. And because it's pretty much confirmed, it's why I'm doing this video second, because odds are somebody already beat me to it, because this is pretty obvious, so that's why I wanted to do the the modular building theory first. I feel like this is pretty solid. Keep in mind, none of this is 100% confirmed. It's just, it makes a lot of sense based on what we're seeing. Like, look at this. These buildings are identical. I'm just overall a little bit disappointed in the buildings so far. I don't know if I still have it. Okay, oh right, over here it is. The buildings just look really flat to me. I feel like the buildings that we got in Jurassic World Evolution 1 look a little bit more interesting. But maybe that's a sacrifice they made for these customization options, or maybe it's a sacrifice they made for modular building. We don't know yet, but it is interesting to talk about, and at the very least, I feel very confident that we're going to get much more customization than we got in the original Jurassic World Evolution. Please do not worry, this channel is not going to become fully speculative stuff. I will be going back to Jurassic World Evolution 1 and just showing you guys creative stuff that you can already do in that game. But as more information comes out, of course, I will be sharing that as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, enjoy listening to me ramble. I'm really sorry. But thank you for watching.